Hi, welcome to How to Repair. This video is on how to change carbon brushes in a Selni motor. This motor is commonly fitted to Blomberg, Brandt, Fagor, Dietrich and Thomson, plus many more makes listed below. Right, we've got the customer's machine on the workbench here, and every time I put it onto a spin cycle it keeps coming up with an F9 fault, so I'm assuming that it's the motor carbons. So what we're going to do is strip down the machine, take the motor out and inspect the carbon brushes, and if need be replace them. The first thing we need to do is disconnect the machine from the electricity supply and take the back off. This will give us access to the belt and the rear half of the motor. Now, by just pulling the belt slightly towards you as you rotate it, the belt will come off easily. Next, we need to remove the two bolts that hold the motor in place. One bolt goes all the way through and the other bolt is an adjustment bolt, which is very similar to a car alternator when you're tensioning the belt. I'll show you a bit later in the video. So we've disconnected the electricity supply to the motor. It's just a block connector, and we need to undo these two bolts. Now, if you're doing this at home, I've got the facility of a test bench where I'm able to access the motor from underneath, but if you lean the machine over at a 45-degree angle and get someone to stabilize the machine for you, then you will be able to access the nut and bolt from underneath. So I'm just removing the adjustment nut and bolt on the right here, and taking the weight of the motor, extract the long bolt, and then it will drop down and you need to bring the motor out from underneath. Now, the first thing you need to take note of is the make of motor. Here we have the ID label, and when looking for your carbon brushes, quote the model number and the type of motor. The reason why I say this is during a manufacturing run on a machine, they might actually change the motor mid-cycle due to supply problems. So now we're going to take the two carbon brushes out and inspect them. So the first one is about quarter of its lifespan left on it. I'll show you the comparison to a new one. As you can see, it's just under half, so there's still some life left in that brush. So that one's not the problem. Now we're just taking out the other one. Right, here we go. The carbon brush on this side has split. In other words, it's delaminated. And this is what's causing the intermittent fault on the machine. It's a bad contact going through to the commutator. So the next thing we're going to do is inspect the commutator for any damage, and it looks in pretty good condition. A couple of little burn marks on it. So I'm just going to clean this up with some 320 grit fine sandpaper, just to put a little bit of sheen back on it. There's no actual damage to the commutator. And there we go. Now we're ready to load the new brushes into the machine. When fitting the new carbon brushes, it's a good idea to stop the armature turning and support the carbon as you insert the brush onto the commutator, just to stop it snapping. Saves any damage actually happening to it. And once you've got the screw in place, you know you're safe. While I'm doing this, there's some links above. We do ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as that's what keeps us going and able to make these free videos for you. And there's also a link above to join us at Facebook. And I've also put a link that will take you straight through to these carbon brushes that you need for the Selni motors. So we're just inserting the other side now. Again, support the carbon just until you get it onto the location tabs, and then put the screw in. Now that we've got both of the carbons fitted, we're ready to reinstall the motor. And really the only thing I need to point out here is, once you've actually got the brushes in, do rotate the armature and just make sure that they're sitting comfortably onto the commutator. And refitting the motor is exactly the same as taking it off, apart from we need to tension the belt. This type of motor does not have a stretch belt. It has a motor bracket on the right hand side which you need to tension. Very similar to fitting a car alternator or tensioning the belt on an alternator, but I'll show you in detail in a second. Once we've got this long bolt through, we're able to release the motor. It'll just sit on its lugs. Now you need to do this one up reasonably tight. And now we'll put the belt on before tensioning the other one. Now the technique to putting the belt on is get it onto the motor first, then put the belt halfway round the wheel and then rotate the wheel on the drum, and it will go straight on. Now this is very important. Once the belt is actually onto the main pulley, we need to make sure that that belt is sitting in the center of the main pulley. Now this might mean adjusting by pushing the belt back on the ribs or bringing them forward, and then just rotate it, inspect the belt is in the middle of the pulley, and now we're ready to tension the belt. Right, you can see there's a little bit of movement on the belt. You don't need it too tight, you just need to be able to move the belt a couple of millimeter in each direction. It doesn't need to be over taut, otherwise you could snap the belt, but I would say somewhere in the region of half a centimeter, just being able to press the belt. Now by putting a bar in between the drum and the motor, you just slightly lever the motor downwards while nipping up the nut on the other side, and then remove the bar and you'll be able to tighten it fully. And there we go. Now all we need to do is reconnect the electrics and put it on test, and there we go. The machine's working perfectly again. Thanks very much for watching this video. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, and we do hope you buy the parts from us. Thanks very much for watching this video.